So in today's video, I'm going to show you my idea of what a more modern fire kit should consist of and what should be in it. Some of this stuff is going to be extremely redundant as far as how much of it I have in my kit, and there's also other videos on YouTube with a lot of things in here too that people have done reviews on. I get that. It's not that I'm trying to oversaturate YouTube with the same old stuff. It just, in my opinion, the more you have of the same opinions, the more it legitimizes each item that is in this kit. So if you want to see more about this, stay tuned. Okay, so first things first. When you're going to put together a fire kit, it's important that you have a good bag or container to put the kit in. What I've chosen is a VanQuest Fat Pack right here to put my fire kit in. This thing is super rugged. It's like a nylon material. It's or a canvas material, I guess I should say. Very thick, very strong. It's got MOLLE compatible webbing on the back. You can hook it to your pack or yourself and carry it with you. It's got a good carrying strap up here. We've even got a loop here that you can put some type of lock mechanism through it, so if you're going through the brush, you can't accidentally open it and have the contents fall out of the bag. It's also got a pouch here in front, which is good for storing extra things. Just an all-around really good piece of kit. So let's get started with the contents. Okay, so first things first. With any fire kit, you're going to need a good knife. I recommend something that is full tang. It's got the blade is just one solid piece. It's a fixed blade. It doesn't fold. This one here is a knife from Habilis Bush Tools. I can't remember what model it is, but it's got a divot on this side of the handle for a bow drill, and then also you need one that's got a good sharp 90-degree spine for striking a ferro rod, as well as shaving wood particles off of a stick or something like that. Also, I would recommend a blade that's made out of high carbon steel for striking flint. And then also a good ferro rod. And now what I mean by a good ferro rod, I mean something that is basically 6 inches long and has a 1/2 inch diameter. It's about as big around, it's about as big around as my finger. The longer rod gives you more of a striking length, and then the fatter it is will also aid in its life and longevity. You should have at least 2 ferro rods, a primary and then a backup secondary. Okay, so we'll start on this side of the pack first. Speaking of a secondary, I have this secondary ferro rod here that's got a striker on it. It works good. You just got to get the black film off of it before it'll throw sparks. Good backup rod. Also here, I've got some chunks of fat wood. Fat wood is awesome. It's basically nature's version of gasoline. So where the knife comes into play with a good sharp spine is you can take this and you can use the back side of it and you can just shave off small particles of wood to get a fire going. And I'll do a demonstration of that here in a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. That's my daughter in the background. She wants to help today. So we'll set that to the side. Also, you need a good set of matches. These ones right here are a set of UCO matches. They're waterproof. It comes with a striker and a spare one. I'm going to see just how waterproof these are. We'll dunk them in water and see if they'll still light. Okay. Back here I have a different style of match. It's a big fat match that has some cardboard material with it as its own tinder source. I've used these before. They work pretty well and they have a pretty long burn time. Also, I've got them in a Ziploc bag, and I took them out of the box and I put the striker in with them. we'll do a demonstration of that too. I can't remember what brand these are, but if you go on Amazon, you can find these pretty easy. Also, the tried and true method, cotton balls coated in petroleum jelly. That's all these are right here, and these work awesome. You can get them wet as long as you don't soak them, and they'll still work. They have a good burn time to them. These are awesome. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to try is this Instafire fire starter. I have not actually tried this yet. We're going to try it for the first time right here today. I've seen it, or it seems to work pretty good. It says it burns up to 1,000 degrees, lights up to 4 fires. I don't have a temperature gauge to test that, so we're just going to see how well it works. It says it's good for campfires, fireplaces, cooking, charcoal, and emergency use. So we're going to try that here in a minute. Over here, I've got some steel wool. Now you can use steel wool to light a fire if you've got a 9-volt battery. You just touch the positive and the negative to it, and it goes up pretty quick. The only thing about this that you need, and you can use a ferro rod to do it as well. The only thing, if you're going to use the battery part of it, you need to make sure you're cycling out your battery probably every month, every 2 months, to make sure it stays good. Otherwise, if the battery's weak, it may not work. I've got some tea light style candles here. I don't think I need to demonstrate candles. Okay, over here I have a Numith Towhill lighter. These things are awesome. It's a self-contained lighter. You just fill it with regular Ronzanol lighter fluid, and it's got an O-ring on here that stays waterproof and airtight, and it works awesome. This has been in my pack for several months, probably 3-4 months, and I haven't had to even refill it. This is the same thing. This is a True brand peanut style lighter. I haven't had this too long. I haven't used it too much, but I want to compare, see how good it is compared to the Numith Towhill lighter. So I'm going to leave it in my pack for a number of months and see if it still lights after. Now here I've got some Zippo Typhoon matches. These I have not even tried as well, so today we're going to try these out. They seem to work really good. I've seen them used before, and they look awesome. I mean, look at that thing. Thing's as long as my finger. That is a match right there. So we're going to try that as well. It comes with a striker on the bottom, right there, and it comes with some extra strikers inside the bottom of the cap. And it is a waterproof container. So you could use this container to not only hold the matches, obviously, but if you get something else to put matches in, you could use this container to hold other things that you need to keep out of the weather. Right here, just a little razor blade, also for shaving pieces of fat wood and cutting string and stuff like that. Kind of self-explanatory. This is a saw. You take it and you unwind it and you wrap it around a branch or something, and you just pull back and forth with your fingers and saw what you need to saw. I'm not going to get too far into that. Here's some more tinder. Homemade fat wood. Something just to help get a fire going after you've got it going initially. Helps to get it established. Let's see what else. Aha! These are magnesium filled capsules right here. It's like a little pill. You take the pill out, you break the 2 capsules apart, you put spark to it, and it goes up. I haven't tried these either. I'm going to try them also today for the first time. So we got a couple things to try out here. That'll be kind of cool. Some jute twine. You take the jute twine and you unravel it into really, really fine fibers, and it makes an awesome tinder. And some Tinder Quicks. They're kind of like the cotton ball theory. I can't remember exactly what they're soaked in, but you take one of these out and you basically break it apart. You make it as fibers as you can, and like a cotton ball would be, and you use it in the same manner. Okay, so now we've had all of this extra stuff here that's you're asking yourself, why not just use a lighter? Well, guess what? That's the first thing you go to, is a good old-fashioned lighter. I'm using Bic lighters because they're simple, they're straightforward, they've got two things to them. They've got the fuel valve right there, and they've got the wheel and flint for spark. I do know for a fact that these do not work well in sub-zero temperatures. They simply won't light. You got to put them in your hand or in your armpit or something like that to get them warmed back up, and then they work. If you drop them in a river or a creek or something like that, and they soak all the way, the water soaks all the way into the fuel, they also will not work. But I have quite a few of these because you never want to run out. That's my go-to. It's the first thing I'm going to do. If the lighters don't work, then I have all this other stuff. Right here I've got a live fire, and this is just basically like a fabric or a cottony substance with wax in it, something else I can't remember, but you rough that up and you can light it, and it'll work kind of like a candle, and you can use this to light other things with it. These are pretty awesome. And one of my favorites are wet fire cubes. These things are awesome. It's just a white cube. You can drop this in the water, take it right out, and light a fire with it. It's awesome. We're going to demonstrate one of these too. And these are probably the best. Zip fire cubes. If I remember right, I can't remember what the material of these is, but they're soaked in kerosene, and these things are awesome. They'll burn forever. You need to have these in your kit for sure. And that is basically it in a nutshell. So let's get to demonstrating some of these things and see how they work, see how long they'll burn, and we'll see what's up. Okay, so here we go with some of the demonstration on some of these items. First, I'm going to start with the fat wood. And all you got to do is get you a piece of fat wood and shave some filings off of it. Into a pile like this. And then you just got to hit it with your ferro rod. It'll be okay, sis. And there you have it. Then you throw your tinder on there and anything else you're going to use to get the fire going. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Can't really tell. And the bigger the pile you have, the longer it's going to burn. Okay, so that was the fat wood. And it's starting to sprinkle out here, so this will make it kind of a cool test. We'll try these matches that have their own tinder. Ooh. That wasn't good. It just kind of fell apart. Half the striking surface came off too. Holy cow. It's not a good sign. That took a little bit. They are pretty old. I should probably cycle these out for some new ones. Okay, so there's that. let's try this aluminum capsule. I have never used one of these before. But apparently all you're supposed to do is break this apart, pull it apart. And it's powdered magnesium. Hope you can see that.
You let my teeth down.
And I'll hit it with my ferro rod. Hopefully I don't go throwing all of it all over the place. Oh wow, just like that. Wow, that was cool. The magnesium burns red hot. That's neat. So, I'm gonna try something here. Douse that in water. So it can light questionable material if it's wet or damp. That's cool. Okay. Next we'll try this live fire. And what you got to do is kind of rough up this surface. About like that. And then we'll hit it with the ferro rod and see what it does. Oh yeah, it's going. And now you can use that to light other things if you need to. And it's kind of like a candle too. That'll burn for a long time. Put it out, you just close it up. Okay, let's go with one of these wet fire cubes and see what it does. Actually, you know what? We're gonna take that and throw it in the water. Just let it sit there for a little bit. We'll let that soak. We'll try one of these Typhoon matches first. Oh, is it gonna make it? It's still going. Yeah, there it goes. Dunked it in water and it kept on going. That's cool. So that's a good match right there. Okay, we'll take this back out. So it's wet, obviously, you saw that. So we're gonna take it and we're just gonna break it up into little chunks. And hit it with the ferro rod. There it is. And as you saw, that sat in the water for a good amount of time. So even if this is wet, it'll still light. Let's see if it'll light that wet piece of cardboard. So obviously, even if you put wet material on top of it, it's not going to put it out. It's going to continue to burn.
What does that do?
Also windproof, so probably one of the best fire starters I've ever used. I think Chris Tanner on Prepared Mind 101 put this on his Jessica list for fire starting equipment. Okay, so we're gonna move this off to the side. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna let this burn all the way down and then we'll come back with something else. Hold on. Okay, so we're back. That was actually kind of hard to put out. So the next thing we're going to try out is this Zip Fuel Cube. Now I got these Zip Fuel Cubes along with the Wet Fire Cube and this on Amazon. So you can find all this on Amazon. Again, these are called Zip Fire Cubes. And I'm only going to use a little bit of this because these burn for like 20 minutes. Actually, we'll take this half, dunk it in water, and see if it'll still light. Okay, so you got your cube. You're going to want to break this up too. You don't have to, but it works better if you do. Like that, and then you're going to take your ferro rod or your lighter. You're just going to hit it. Just like that. That easy. So let's just see how good this stuff is. I've got some paper here. I'm going to get it wet. Okay, that's super soaked. Shake it out a little bit. Got some balsa wood. We're going to see if it can light this wet material. So the dry part of the wood's lit. The paper is lit.
Wait, Dad.
Zip Fire Cubes. You've got to put this in your fire kit or your emergency kit. These are awesome, obviously. Don't blow on it. Okay. So let's take this one. I have not actually tried this, but we'll try it out. I'll throw it in this water and see if it'll light after I do it. Okay, we're gonna break it up. Haha. Wow, it'll still light. That's cool. Even when it's wet. Oh. So it's not waterproof if it's in water, but it'll light when it's marginally wet.
Daddy, what Daddy have?
Awesome. Zip fire cubes. Okay, so for the last one, we'll try this out. Okay, so these are called InstaFire Fire Starter. No harmful chemicals, eco-friendly, burns up to 1,000 degrees, lights up to 4 fires. That's weird looking stuff. That's probably a third of what's in the bag right there. Ooh, shit. Okay, so that obviously took a little bit to get going. Not super impressed by that. So we'll let that get going and we'll see if it'll start some wet paper. Now I got the dry section going. So it did not smother the fire by putting the wet part on it, but it's definitely not burning hot enough to light the wet part of the paper. But it didn't smother it, so that's a plus. Seems to have a pretty long burn time to it. So anyway, that's my recommendations of the contents of a fire kit. As you saw, the zip fire cubes and the wet fire cubes, as well as those Zippo Typhoon matches, are probably the best things to have in your kit for a pretty quick fire. You're also going to need, obviously, a ferro rod. Throw some Bic lighters in there too. That's the first go-to you need to have, and then a good knife. And that's that. If you have any suggestions as far as anything else I could put in the kit, please feel free to leave me a comment in the section down below explaining that to me. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. We'll see you next time.